और 5 minutes.
Yes, your extension.
Find the
Yeah, we take it back. അതെവിടെ എവിടെ പോയിട്ട് അതിന്റെ താഴെ അന്ന് അത് നമുക്ക് അവിടെ പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യാം കാനുവേഷൻ അത് നീ അങ്ങോട്ട് വെക്കുക ഇതൊക്കെ വരുന്നത് ലൈക്ക് for the light തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും we'll place it. ഓ പറയുന്നത് ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇതിനെ
A very pleasant good morning to one and all gathered here. I, Tejaswini, the Deputy Speaker of the JIPMER Students Association, take immense pride in of Gandhiji, the father of our nation. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our Honorable Director, Dr. Rakesh Agarwal, and all the faculty.
എന്ത് ചെയ്തേനെ ഏത് ചെറുപ്പം ഒരു ചെറുപ്പം
Hello. Only
Gandhiji's life started as a simple man in the place of Porbandar, a social activist, a freedom reformer, and to become the father of our nation. He was in South Africa to the workers, as well as the young and many more. Gandhi's strategy mainly relied on truth and non-violence. That there is no God higher than truth. According to him, leaders must be opposed first, but he insisted their weapons must be non-violent and moral ones. Gandhiji said, "An eye for an eye will only make the world blind. Truth should be law. Option of a peaceful method made one superior and enemy at a disadvantage, but the condition is the opponent must be dealt with respect and that that materialization leads to moral and spiritual degradation. He also encouraged the countrymen to be self-sufficient and boycott foreign goods. Gandhiji also strived for the education of all people. He strongly believed that the truth was measured by how well the poorest and the most vulnerable members of the society are being treated. Gandhiji's journey was not devoid of challenges. He faced opposition, racism, and immense struggles, yet he remained steadfast in his beliefs. Gandhian principles of ahimsa, satyagraha, simple living, self-discipline, sacrifice, equality, and social justice continue to inspire the millions around the world. The more we read about him, the more we get drawn to his philosophies. As we remember his legacy today, let's commit to being better citizens, whether it's treating making a better. Let's honor our beloved Bapuji by living out his values every day. So I'd like to request our Honorable Director, Dr. Rakesh Agarwal, to address the gathering on this auspicious day.
Good morning, Vanakkam, Namaskar. Dear friends, we are here to commemorate the 155th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. The speaker before me has said a lot, and I think what she said, really speaking, conveys it all. But since I must formally speak something, I will share with you a few ideas. I think we in India don't realize very often what Gandhi achieved for his time, because we can't imagine that time, and at what different ages he achieved what he achieved. Way back, he was born in 1869, as we know. It was at the age of 18 that he left India with a lot of opposition from his mother and his wife to go to UK, far away in a ship. How many of us would be willing to do that? Within 4 years, he joined the bar there, but decided to come back to India, was restless here, and after 2 years, at the age of 24, left for South Africa to basically represent a client in a court, and was so influenced by the circumstances there that he continued to stay there for 21 years. How many of us would fight for a place where we are judgment and we see injustice and we fight that? 21 years fighting for self-rule, fighting for equality, fighting against tax laws which meant that the peasants there, the poor people there, were subject to very high tax rates so that they were becoming poor. And he fought discrimination. After 21 years, at the age of about 45 or 46, he comes back to India. For his generation, he lived actually longer, something that we don't realize. He lived till the age of 78, something that is considered usual today. But I can tell you, when I was a resident or a medical student, it was unusual to see people who were 78. And maybe that part of it was to do with his simple lifestyle, low body mass index, and whatever, and his active lifestyle. And then fought for our independence, espousing the principles that we heard from the girl before me. His guiding principles, as we heard, and I'll reiterate some of those, were equality, so much so fighting against untouchability that was so prevalent at that time, truth, upliftment of women, upliftment of anybody who was disadvantaged, whether it was the lower castes, women, or anybody else, or the poor. Religious and social pluralism, I think something that we really, really need in our country today, and something that the JIPMER campus actually represents quite well. The kind of social pluralism we have, many societies that we don't have, and I think that's what he was for, that each one can do what they wish to do while being tolerant of others. Sometimes, as an individual, I actually feel upset that we don't honor his legacy as much. But when one travels around the world, one sees him honored around the world. I had an occasion to live in Atlanta for 1.5 years. Martin Luther King Jr., who played a major role in uplifting the blacks in America. You go to his museum, it almost looks like for Mahatma Gandhi, not for Martin Luther King Jr. Look Nelson Mandela, look closer home at Aung San Suu Kyi. Look at Barack Obama when he was asked, who's one person dead or alive that you would choose to dine with? And he said, Mahatma Gandhi. That's the respect he's held in around the world. And unfortunately, we possibly in our country don't give him that much respect. Every time I go to Geneva, which I happen to go because of meetings 2 or 3 times in a year, the best part of the day is either walking past or in the local bus passing by the bust of Mahatma Gandhi. And to see that people actually come there, people leave flowers there, people leave garlands there. And these are not people coming from our country, these are people coming from around the world. So the world celebrates this as International Day of Nonviolence since 2007. And the UN resolution that was passed to set up this International Day of Nonviolence read, and I quote, to reaffirm the universal relevance of the principle of nonviolence and the desire to secure a culture of peace, tolerance, understanding, and nonviolence. When could it be more apt than today when you switch on TV and you see violence in the world everywhere? This is the time that we need him. I think even in my personally looking at it, I think that while we may appreciate, revere, recognize his contributions at the national level, societal level, I think more importantly, each of us at our individual level needs to learn from a very disciplined life he led, full of several examples that can guide each of us in our personal lives. The 2 quotes that I consider as the most important from the several quotes that are ascribed to him, I cite 2 and hope that many of you will be able to follow these in your life. The first is, I quote, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not for anyone's greed. The world cannot provide for greed of even one person, but if we just look at the necessities, it can provide for everybody's necessities. And the second, and the most important to me, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Thank you. Nandri.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful words. Gandhiji strongly emphasized on religious tolerance, and he believed that every religion has truth and value. He also worked tirelessly to bridge the communal rights between various religions. To commemorate his faith, today we introduce the batch of 2024 to read from scriptures from holy books. First of all, I'd like to call upon Meda Sahaya from the batch of 2024 to read the scriptures from Bhagavad Gita. Namaste, everyone. Hari Om. Ma phalishu kadachana ma phalahi turbhor ma te sanghostva karmani. You have a right to perform your duty only, never to its fruits. Do not let the fruits of action be the motive, or let your attachment be to not performing your duty. नहि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेन विद्यते. In this world, there is nothing as purifying as knowledge. One who has attained perfection in yoga finds it with herself or himself in due course of time. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha Paradharmanushthitaat swadharmiha shreyaha paradharmo bhayavahah. To Shri Krishna, destruction in the course of performing is better than engaging in another's duties, for to follow another's path is dangerous. अज्ञश्च श्रद्धधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परो न सुखं संशयात्मनः. For people who often doubt, there is no happiness. Namaskar. Next, I'd like to call upon Sam Shreyas from the batch 24.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sanshayas Joseph. I will be reading a passage from the Bible known as the Sermon on the Mount. And this passage tells about the moral values that all of us should uphold, despite the fact that we follow different religions. There are certain morals that apply to all of us, and these will help us in becoming a better human being. Seeing the crowds, Jesus went up on the mountain, and when he sat, his disciples came to him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness. This is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecute the prophets who were before you. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call upon Muhammad Shafi to read the scriptures from Quran.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Muhammad Shafi from batch 2024. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu istar qaumun min qaumin asa an yakunu khairan minhum ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهم ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم يا أيها الناس إن خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى إلى لتعارفوا إن بأتقاكم إن الله خبير. Hey humanity, avoid suspecting something wrong without proof, and do not spy nor backbite one another. Would any of you like to eat the flesh of their dead brother? You would despise that. Do not blame or defy one another, nor call each other by offensive nicknames. And whoever does not regret, it is they who are the true wrongdoers. Indeed, we created you all from a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, so that you may get to know one another. Surely the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you. Allah is fully all knowing and all aware. Thank you.
Next up, we have Bhargav Bhatt to read the scriptures from Guru Granth Sahib.
Good morning, everyone. I read a few lines from Guru Granth Sahib. पंज नवाजे बकट पंजा पंजे नाव पहला सच हलाल दूए जा खुदाए प्रति नीत रास min पंजे सिफत सुनाए prayers and 5 times of the day for prayers. The 5 have 5 moons. The first be truthfulness and serving, and the third charity in the name of God. But the fourth be goodwill to all, and the fifth the praise of God. While we emphasize praise of God, Nam Japma, or doing puja part, the Guru puts his last emphasis on it. He says the first thing should be truthfulness, second honesty, third charity, and fourth God. Last, he says, should be the praise of God or puja part. Samuruk Sarara at Durga at much. Osi awe aster jahi nirase के पुल बक बड़े कम न आए तक खुद नीवी मान का दुख चंगे आए तक. The single tree is straight as an arrow. It is bent as anything. But those birds which visit it hopefully depart disappointed. Its fruits are tasteless, flowers are nauseating, and its leaves are useless. Humility, O Nanak, is the essence of all virtues, the root of all goodness and virtues. With example of a fruitless tree, Guru says, the birds who visit such a tree depart disappointed. Same with the person who does not have goodness and virtue of kindness and empathy for others. Dikkat gauri khaye, mutto chit na sirnihar. He takes the intoxicating drugs of cruelty and corruption and is plundered. He is not conscious of the Creator Lord God. The one who is cruel and corrupt can never achieve happiness and is plundered inside. Thank you.
I remember India as a community with diverse religions and castes. But today, that despite being diverse, we stand united and respect each other's values. Thank you for your insightful teachings once again. For a melodious patriotic song.
Good morning, everyone. भारत माता को जय जय बंगारू भूमि की जय जय आसे तुहिनाचल सस्य श्यामल भारत माता को जय जय बंगारू भूमि की जय जय పవిత్ర భూమి నాలుగు వేదములు పుట్టిన భూమి భారత మాతకు జయ బంగారు శాంతి దూతగా వెలసిన బాపు జాతి రత్నమై వెలిగినను శాంతి దూతగా వెలసిన బాపు జాతి రత్నమై వెలిగినను సహజీ తనతావదము వేదముగా ప్రజాక్షేమ లక్ష్యము భారతకు జోజు బంగారు ఆసేతు జల సస్య శ్యామల జీవకు జోజు బంగారు జోజు Thank you.
Thank you, Subhas. Next up, we have a choir performance from the batch of 2K24. Thank you, students. That was truly calming and patriotic. On this auspicious day, I also take a moment to commemorate the birth anniversary of our second Prime Minister, Lal Bahadur Shastri, who stands for his slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. So, as we draw this beautiful Gandhi Jayanti celebrations to an end, I'd like to take a moment to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Director, Dr. Rakesh Agarwal, Deputy Director, Shri Rangabashu, Medical Superintendent, Dr. Dorai Raju, Dean Research, Dr. Giri Thapa, Student Advisor, Dr. Lata Chittamagadar, Associate Professors, Heads of the Department, Officers in charge of the Nursing Section, Security, Nursing Department and Principal College of Nursing, Public Relations Officer, Instructor, Presidents and Secretaries of JHE, Estate Section, Financial Department, Horticulture Department, Education Department, IFA, JID, and JSA, SIS, and trustee team for being a part of this program. I also thank all the senior faculties, staff, and our beloved students for success. Gandhi is not just a name. It is an inspiration for many struggles and revolutions across the world. It is an attention that binds us together. Gandhi is a name that always is revered and lives in our hearts forever and ever. So I'd like to end this with a quote. A man is a product of his thoughts. What he believes becomes. May we always build a nation and live up to his. Thank you, one and all. I request that everybody rise up for anthem. Snacks and refreshments are being arranged. I request everybody to do all of them.